Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to the open book. This is your host, Lakeisha, and I hope everyone is having a fabulous Tuesday. I was on my way from the doctor and I was like, no, wait a minute. I had plenty of time to kind of check out some things while, when you're waiting. And I said, now, I definitely have to talk about this. I hope y'all can hear me. I'm through my car audio. Can y'all hear me? Let's see who we have here so far. Good morning, Kathleen. Welcome. Thank you for joining and for being first in the building. I appreciate it. Good morning, guys. Shaldi, welcome, sis. Hey, humble me. Hi. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Queen. Good morning, Karen. Thank you for joining. My sis Shelly Shells is in the building. Good morning, sis. Thank you for joining. Hi, Mary. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Kay Brown is in the building. Thank you for joining. Hi, what's the word? Thank you for joining today. Bless from Texas. Okay, she said, Happy Taco Tuesday. Look, we're going to have to do some tacos, y'all, today. I forget about that. And really, I think I was Mexican in my former life because, y'all, I love and I say I love Mexican food, but it's certain Mexican food that I do like. But yeah, I think I was Mexican. I love some quesadillas. Okay. Fajitas. Okay. Hi, Life. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Good morning, Miss Josephine. Thank you for joining. Can y'all hear me? Am I clear? Loud enough? Can someone let me know? I just want to be sure because I'm through my car audio. Testing, testing, testing. Can y'all hear me? Nobody put anything yet. Okay, you love tacos? Because I'm going to be mad if I'm just talking to myself. Okay. Thank you, Shelly. Wait, you put 100. Oh, she said, uh-oh. Wait, wait a minute. Okay. Life, you don't have to clown me like that. Okay. So that means that I need to bring it down, bring the volume down just a little. Thank you, Life. Good morning, Miss Lysander. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, y'all, let's get into it. Oh, wait. Do I need to turn the volume down? I don't even know what I need to do. Turn my volume down to turn my car volume. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I'm gonna feel like I'm whispering. Okay. Right, Miss Josephine, I can eat tacos every day. Tacos, quesadillas, nachos. Where am I? Oh, I know where I'm at now. Yeah, I was coming a different way today. Thank you, Life. I know you messing with me. That was funny though. She like, "Baby, we can hear you quite loud." Okay. Oh my goodness. Good morning, Kay. Welcome. Yeah, we whispering over here because I don't want to take y'all eardrums out. And then when I'm already on like 100 energy and things like that, I'm already, talking loud. So then I felt like I was talking louder. Okay. I said, let me break it down. Cause y'all, one day it was funny. uh what I was on a live and someone said, "Girl, why you hollering at us?" I forgot. Oh, that was S. Ronnie. When S. Ronnie came into my chat one evening and I was talking about something and said, "Open book, why you screaming at us?" I said, "Am I talking loud?" Okay, so let's get into this topic. Now, y'all, okay. A lot of people can get into their feelings when they think that you are throwing shade. And you don't necessarily have to be throwing shade at them, but I guess maybe something you said probably hit home. Okay. It may have hit home. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean that you were, but it felt like, the shoe fit. And so hey, they get into their feelings. Uh, you don't even know necessarily what you said. You were probably on a whole different topic, talking about somebody completely different. And this person is holding a grudge with you over some shade that they thought, some self perceived shade. And now they're holding it over your head. They are upset, walking around mad at you. Good morning, Brittany. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And so this was the case recently, and I've been hearing about it all over social media. And I am in shock. First of all, I'm in shock at the two people involved because I said, I know we not out here acting like this over some type of shade that the person didn't even know that they threw. And then you didn't even have a conversation about it. So recently, y'all know Denzel Washington, he has a movie coming out, Othello, okay? And they had a premiere. Good morning, Tony. Welcome. And so Sherry Shepherd, y'all know she used to kind of be like a fill-in for Wendy, but she ended up getting her own talk show. She's an actress, very well known, and she was there at the premiere. And she stated, good morning, Toya, welcome. She stated that she was talking to the couple. Y'all know our sisters, Davale, I forget his Ellis, and he is with well, they have Zatima, but Fatima and what's his name on there? Oh, doggy, why I can't think of his name, but his character name. But they play on Zatima, okay, the husband, the boyfriend, because I don't think they married yet. The boyfriend, y'all know who I'm talking about. Him and his wife, okay, were at the premiere as well. So Sherry Shepherd stated that, and she stated this on her show as well, that she was the couple. Now, on her show, when she was telling this, she said there was an unnamed celebrity that came up to her and tapped her and was like, you've been throwing shade at me recently. And so she said she looked and she kind of said something else and walked off. And I was like, now, wait a second. You talking to someone and someone walks up to you and says that you've been throwing shade? Because she said, no, I haven't been throwing shade at you. And she said, yes, you have. And the girl walks off. Now, she did name, when she was on the show telling who it was, she did name it. Now, who we need to call to the front of the class that I would like to have a conversation with, because, see, I like to hear from people who were there, the source, okay, the Davales, okay, the Ellises, okay, him and his wife. Who came up to Sherry while she was standing there talking to y'all? Because we got a lot of people speculate. Now, on the Breakfast Club, what's her name? Lauren, she said that she knows somebody that was there, and they said that the person is allegedly Nia Long. Now, y'all know Nia Long from Friday. She done played in Best Man. She done played in all kind of movies, and said that she was the unnamed celebrity that walked up to Sherry Shepherd. Okay, a couple of things with this. Now, oh my goodness. I hate to see us as women. Y'all, we too grown for stuff like this. Now this is getting into, did my comments stop? Because I don't see no comments. Sometimes they get frozen. I see Kathleen. This is the last comment I see. Can y'all hear me? I think my comments are stuck. Okay, hi Luscious Lips. There you go. Yeah, she played it. Empire. Wait, who played the Empire? Now, Nia Long, I don't think she played an Empire. Okay, gotcha, Shelly. Sometimes my comments get stuck. Okay, now a couple of things. First of all, I need, because all they said so far was Nia Long has posted on her IG, and she did a picture of herself and put about last night and put a little winking emoji, but she hasn't said anything about this. So one thing is, now Sherry, girl, you are opening up a whole can of worms because you are bringing this to the forefront. See, people want to bring stuff to the forefront, but they don't want to name names. Okay, so like they said, now the old school Wendy, when she came on her show and someone shaded her or came at her a certain type of way, she was naming names. Okay, so Sherry, girl, You didn't tell us all of this. Tell us who it is, okay? Because she said that the couch is open. She said, you're welcome to come to my couch and we can have the conversation. Okay. Now, another thing is, whoever it was, whether it was Nia Long or another unnamed celebrity, if Sherry is standing there talking to someone, another couple, it could have been probably a little more respectful. You could have gotten more out of the timing of all of that. You would have just waited and pulled her to the side. Because to me, that is rude. Okay. Whether you think someone is throwing shade at you or not, yes, I think it's important to have a conversation because, see, we're all grown until someone offers you to come up and talk. Or if you go up and talk, everyone wants to scream over everybody. Don't nobody want to listen. We don't know how to effectively communicate. I'm noticing that with grown-ups recently. We do not know how to communicate. I know that we had to take some classes. We had to go through training when I worked for the bank on how to listen. Okay, you had to listen. You had to learn how to restate what you thought the person stated. You had to wait your turn. You had to know how to talk to the person professionally. And a lot of times we just get in our emotions and we lose all of that. All of that just goes away. And so maybe pulling Sherry to the side, stating when you thought she was throwing shade, about what. Okay, because if you just say you were throwing shade at me, that could be very general. Okay, now Sherry did say that she throws shade, but it's like maybe at one person. Okay, at least she was honest about that. Okay, Kathleen said communication is lost these days. Yes, don't nobody want to talk. Okay, people don't want to listen. Are you really listening? Sometimes we listen to respond, but we're not listening to get an understanding. Okay, so sometimes listen to get an understanding first. Okay, because if some shade was thrown, then yeah, have that conversation. Sherry, why are you throwing shade at me? What did I do to you? Okay. Thank you, Luscious Lips, for the super chat. I appreciate that, sis. And thank you for being a sponsor for today's show. She said, I love your content, open book. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I really do. Thank you so much. Um, and so yeah, not to discount Sherry Shepherd. I mean, if it was Nia Long, because see, two we got to quit doing that. That's speculation. Okay, now until Nia Long speaks up and says it was her, imagine all of the commentary and these lives and things that are taking place, and and say it wasn't her. Now her name has been going around. People are talking about her, and it's not even her. The lady said an unnamed celebrity, but now people are trying to piece things together, going off of he said, she said. I saw Nia Long. She was over there by them, the couple. Maybe it was her. Now, until we hear from Devale and his beautiful wife, okay, until we hear from them, because they were actually standing there when the person walked up and said this. Now, anybody else, I don't know. Okay, because y'all can be all over the place. Y'all know when that happened with Tiffany Haddish. Okay, she came out. She was telling something that happened at a party in regards to Beyonce and another person. Baby, everybody was speculating about who it could have been that was trying to talk to Jay-Z. And y'all know that Beyonce is very private. She really doesn't talk about her business. But we were all guessing, who is the lady? Was it Sanaa Lathan? Who was, so people need to quit doing that. Okay, let the real names come out first. Okay, let that person speak up. Now Nia Long has to come and defend something that she may not want to. Okay, because y'all ain't even gave her a chance to say, yeah, it was me that came up to Sherry and said that she was throwing shade at me. Now we have a whole mess. Okay, what if it's somebody else? Kathleen said, in order to listen, you have to hear them. Hello, some people don't even want to hear. Okay, they just want to go with their own narratives, talk about the person, do what they want to do. You don't want to get an understanding. So first, try to get an understanding before you start popping off running with a whole story, and then here we are. Hi, Mindful Skin. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Hi, Natasha. Thank you for joining. Robin is in the building. Thank you so much for joining, ladies. Yeah, so then here we are. And so now we're waiting to see if Nia Long is going to speak up. Now, Sherry has extended an invitation. Good morning, Busy Bee. Hi, Pammy Pooh, to that person. Okay. I'm hoping that they can come to some resolve as to what happened. Now, Sherry automatically went to she doesn't shake people on her show and things like that. Now, Sherry, I'm hoping that you never shaded her behind the scenes and somebody that went and told, because y'all know, okay, Sherry May, I don't know. Is it somebody out there that you was throwing shade at, or somebody you close to, or something like that went and told her that you were talking about her? But Sherry said that even when she was going through her issue, hi Queen Tandy, welcome. Y'all hit the like, let everyone know we are live. Sherry said, yeah, because when you were going through, that controversy, I was actually on your side. I guess when she found out her fiance was cheating with another lady, the basketball world, and I guess Sherry is trying to say without saying, that was the time when she was really on Nia Long's side, because that was like very hurtful. That was a very public out, whole little entanglement going on with her ex and in the, I think, the basketball, I don't know, somebody that traveled with them he was cheating with, and so she had to go through that publicly. So Sherry was saying that she didn't say what it was, but that's the only thing I can think of if she was referring to Nia Long that came out recently. So now, we have this whole little debacle that's about to take place over a he said, she said, but we still don't know who it is. Okay. People that ran with it that is Nia Long. Now it could have been somebody, Diwali, his wife, somebody could have came out and said, oh Lord, did y'all see Nia over there trying to clown shit? Okay. I don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see. But this is where, we just got to be careful with that, on just saying little stuff and then people just taking it and running with it. Like, have a conversation. It is getting crazy out here, y'all. And what's so funny is, how long ago did it happen? Because sometimes people are walking around with that animosity over something that may have happened years ago. How long did it happen? What was stated? Was what she stated, was it misinterpreted? Like, these are different things to talk about. And actually, God had laid on my heart this morning, before I even knew about this incident, was forgiveness. And how sometimes carrying around things can be to your detriment. Okay. It's not even about the other person, but it's more so about you as a person in your heart, and then your personal relationship with God. Okay. Um, it's easier, I think, and how I keep things in perspective when it comes to that, is God has forgiven me for a lot. I have to go to him daily asking for forgiveness. So if God can forgive, get out of that window. If God can forgive, we can. It's not always easy. It doesn't seem fair sometimes, but what it is it releases you from that situation. That person has to give into account for their own actions and the consequences, but it frees us. We are then able to live free and not walk around with all of the pain, hurt, frustration, anger. You know, that is like drinking poison, hoping that someone else dies from it. It's not going to happen. You're hurting your own self. It's easier to get stuff out. If you haven't ought against your brother, Okay, now how they handle it and when what they do with that, that's on them. Okay, that part would be on them. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. Morning, Joanne. Can y'all hear me? Because I'm not through the car anymore. Um, yeah, and so it's like when you release that person, it frees you. You feel better. Blessed are the peacemakers. You know, when you have a conversation and come to an understanding about something, there's a peace that comes over you, and and to me, I think you win people over more. You have so much peace. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah, like it's like you can win a person over too sometimes, even with having a conversation. Y'all be surprised that people that may not like you or feel like you treated them a certain way, and you have a conversation and y'all come to an understanding, you may win that person over. But when we continue to hold animosity, hold people hostage by our own pain, come on now, y'all, it's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to get us anywhere. Okay. And so I would rather please God and disappoint man than please man and disappoint God. We have to go with what is God pleased with. Okay. And so that was just something I wanted to even talk about even before hearing about this. So if that is the case, if this young lady has been walking around and Nia Long, they're older. Like I said, I don't even really want to put it on Nia Long until she confirms that. Like we could be saying something that may not even be her. But whoever the person is, if that's something, oh, you have so much more peace when you're able to release your pain and anger. Yes. Um, Whoever it is, we don't know how long she's been walking around with that against Sherry. Now, what if what she thought was shade towards her? What if it really wasn't towards her? What if it wasn't towards her, but she saw herself in it? Then that's a you problem. Okay. So whatever it was, you need to work on that and fix that. Now, if Sherry was throwing shade and they talk about it, work through that thing, hey, she may win her over. They may become closer because now we've had a conversation and we've come to an understanding. You are able to feel more peace at that. Okay, when you do it that way, as opposed to walking around being mad all day. Okay, that takes a lot of your energy, being upset, being mad, being angry. I mean, it takes too much. Okay, every day it takes too much of that. Kathleen said, like two boys fight one day, the next day they're best friends. Right? Okay, like little kids. But I said these are like, and just to see how this stuff even takes place with celebrities, you know, like it can go there. And this, and somebody, y'all, in the comments on one of the videos, somebody said, not they clowning at Denzel's premiere. They don't want Denzel to get word that they up there clowning at his premiere. Okay, Sharon talking about she went to the ladies' room. Okay, talking about she was waiting to see, I guess, if she was gonna come up in there so they can talk. Girl, oh my gosh, that should have been the thing to happen is whoever the person was, go to that person, say, look, would you like to step to the side? Let's talk about this. Because what do you mean? What shade was thrown? You make yourself sick with anger. Yes, Kathleen, that can happen. Yep, that can happen, you know. And so I know, like, with even recent issues and incidents and things of that sort, if there is a problem, look, after a while, when you've tried to come to an understanding, you've had a conversation, all you can do is just leave it alone. Let God take care of it. It doesn't help being mad, being angry. but you just let it go. Everyone has to give into an account for their own actions. We can't force people to change. We can't force people even to have a conversation. But what we can do is do our part, admit our wrong in the situation. Okay. And then confess it and move on. If you ask for forgiveness, you ask for forgiveness and then you move on. They want to forgive, they do. If they don't, they don't. That's on them. But you've done your part. Hi, Rebecca. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And that's how you um walk in peace with God and with man. Y'all, life is so short right now. As we see every day, and not to even get too deep and things like that, as we see every day, y'all, someone is passing away. Okay. I mean, I was talking to Dee yesterday on Royal D. I was on her panel, and I was telling my story about working for a narcissistic boss and my experience with that. And a question that she asked me was, have I seen her since I left? And I had to think about that. I was like, you know what? I have not seen that lady since I've left, but I know that God is going to present an opportunity for us to bump into each other. Now, you will know if you've forgiven a person when you bump into them. This is how you'll know. Either a couple of things are going to happen. Either when you see them on site, you get upset, either on site, okay, and you still mad, or you're going to be like, hey, how you doing? And keep going, and you don't feel that anger. Hold on, y'all, one second. Okay. Are you going to feel like cussing them out? Okay. Okay. That means you haven't forgiven. Okay. But if you can speak, you feel okay, a little peace. Hey, look, that was in the past. I done moved on. Then you pretty much forget. And so, because y'all, it was that lady, and I went to an event. I was telling her I went to an event with my daughter. And so a lot of people from the district were going to be at that event. This was actually during Christmas. And I remember I was telling my husband, I said, "Ooh, I hope that lady is not here. I hope I do not see her." And it was more so, y'all, I think I was still feeling a sense of fear. And I know that sounds crazy, but if you go over to her channel and listen to the story, I went through the full story. Natasha said, "I always pray for peace, even when I have no understanding of why things are happening. Peace is everything." Yes, exactly, Natasha. It is everything. You sleep better. You feel better. Anger, frustration, unforgiveness. Do you know that can impact your health? That's where a lot of cancers and things like that come from. Okay, from the stress, all of that can impact various parts. It can impact your back. It can impact various organs when you walk around with that stuff. It does. Hey, Key1. Hey, sis. She said if they speak first, yeah, if they speak first, okay. Yes, with wisdom comes peace. And so, y'all, it got to the point when I would go to work every day because she was so on me, trying to ruin my character, trying to make me look bad to other people. She was on a mission. And y'all want to know why she was on a mission? She was on a mission because I had figured her out. I had restricted her access to me on social media. So she knew, she came to me one day, and I was waiting on a group of students. So she walks in, and so she was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And so I said, "I'm fine, And so she said, "Well, I know that you post a lot on social media, but I noticed that you hadn't been posting a lot." So I was just like, I wonder why. And what's so weird is people say all of that. Yeah, you say I post a lot, but baby, I don't see no likes, no comments from you. So you just been nosy. Okay. But okay. So I had to say that. Because I'm like, you saying I post a lot, but I don't see you up in the comments. I don't see you hitting the like button. I don't see you doing this. So you just being nosy. Okay. So She said, and then I noticed, I think, oh girl, yes, they hate the no access treatment. So she said, I was like, well, huh. I noticed that I could see like the things that you share publicly. Because when you share it publicly, it shows the little earth little symbol. But if you're a friend, it shows the little friend symbol. So she figured out that it was only public access, but not close friend access anymore. Good morning, Mandy. Welcome. So I guess she thought I was gonna buckle up, like buckle down and deny. And I said, oh yes, I did. So she got quiet. And so I said, yes, because I just kind of been noticing some things haven't been quite right, or I've just been feeling some. So I just kind of, certain people, I just kind of been restricting access. And, I have that right. Oh, she did not like that. Sounds like the DF. Never mind. What's the DF? I'm going back to the questions. Girl, what's the DF? So after that, another one of my friends, that my counterpart, I did reading, she did math, walks in. So her office is across from me. So then I guess she saw I was like done. Like, and I even told her then, I said, but it's nothing personal, nothing personal, but I have a right to who has access to me, right? She goes into the other room with my counterpart, and she goes to talking about me that fast. Okay. Now, me, oh, girl, okay. Who I see, girl, I had to quit even befriending a lot of people. Okay. And so she goes to talking about me the whole time I got a group. Now, my group lasted from 30 to 45 minutes. Okay. I go back to my office and they walk out. Now, she waited until I finished and then they walked out. And so they walk over. So my friend was cutting her eyes because she probably felt so uncomfortable in that conversation. But she didn't have a choice but to listen. And of course, she tries to say things to make it a little lighter and things. And so it was so funny. She came in there and did all this on her birthday. It was my boss's birthday, but you worried about my social media on your birthday, lady. What is wrong with you? So I had already put in a half a day to leave, right? So she comes over with my friend and she said, and so my friend said, yeah, so I mean, I think everything's going to be good because she's trying to make sure we at peace, everything's good. I said, oh, yeah, of course. I said, I just told her that it's nothing personal. She said, uh-huh, right, okay, yes, okay, mm-hmm, like that. And I said, oh, shoots. And so I knew that something had taken a turn. So then she was like, well, are y'all going to come down there? I'm about to cut my cake and I think they're going to sing happy birthday. And so I said, oh, I have to go. Now, I had already had this pre-schedule. I was packing my things at that time. And I said, no, I'm not going to be able to go because I'm about to leave. Remember, I had half a day schedule. So she was like, oh, okay. And so they leave out. Y'all, after that day, it was hell for the next 5 months. Okay. This lady started coming after me. She started doing little stuff. Okay. The gaslighting started. She started one time we had a meeting. It was supposed to be me and my counterpart. It was a data meeting. So we were both supposed to go into this meeting. Well, she wasn't there that day. So I was like, well, maybe she'll cancel it. No, she had me coming there by myself. So I'm going over the data, talking to her. Everything goes fine. So then after that, she said, oh, have a seat for a second. I just wanted to have, a conversation, and hey, it can just be between, Lakeisha and, she said her first name, not her principal name. And so this was supposed to be just a little conversation, right? So I'm like, okay, cool. I can let out my true feelings. And, we talking because we had been knowing each other for a good 2 or 3 years prior to her coming over to that location. And I'm telling her because I noticed a change in her that school year. That from the beginning of the school year, I had definitely noticed a change. She started surrounding herself with different people. Um, and they were up there. It was like a mess. It was like this conference room. You could feel the energy in that room. First of all, I didn't even want to go in there because you automatically knew everybody up in there be talking about everybody. So she had her crew. So I was just kind of sharing with her that things had kind of took a shift and things had changed with her that I noticed. I said, be careful about the people you surround yourself with. So I'm trying to look out for her, right? Y'all, she took it like I was taking a stab at her and the people that she done chose and all of this. So she tries to twist my words, okay? And I guess she told them what I said and then tried to write me up saying, trying to make up something that because I was speaking up, like really speaking up, she used my own words and tried to turn it into a write up. Like I was trying to be condescending and all this. I was like, what? Wait, what? Baby, I did not sign that write up. I told my other boss, because I had two bosses, I told her what was going on, that this lady was trying to come after me. She was trying to make me look bad to my higher ups. She was telling half truths. I had to keep up with paperwork. I had to keep up with text messages. I had to keep up with stuff. So every time she tried to tell me something and I had the truth and came back at her, she was like, see, that's why people can't deal with you because you don't stop. What do you mean I don't stop? I don't stop letting you try to lie. No, I am going to speak up and tell the truth. And she did not like that. Y'all, it was 5 months. So the last straw was this email that was sent. Hi, Brad baby. Good morning. Welcome. It was this email that was sent. And so in the email, the way it was worded, it was sent from my assistant principal. He sent it to me, but I noticed that the boss, like over the curriculum area, was CC'd on this email as well. And it was out of the blue. Hi, Nicole. Welcome. It was out of the blue. Now, take it. I had been with him the whole day before. Now, if he had had a problem, he probably would have caught me somewhere up in that day and said something to me. But it was the way it was worded. I said, now why is he calling me into a meeting out of the blue? And then he CCs the guy who's over all of curriculum and instruction. So I automatically got upset. I was hot, y'all. So I couldn't even hardly sleep. The next morning I went into the meeting. It wasn't even about anything like he was saying he noticed or something that I didn't feel like or look like I would wanted to be there. I can't even remember all the words he used, but he had never had a problem with me or said anything to that effect. Now then fast forward to a couple of weeks after that, my boss had a conversation with my counterpart and she was telling me what was stated. I said, wait a second, say that again. Hi, Miss Mabel, welcome. I say that again. Y'all, it was something, a word that she used or had him use in the email that she also used with my counterpart. Okay. Hi, Alexis. Good morning. Welcome. And I said, girl, hold up. I said, that email that was sent, she put it together and told him to send the email. So I said, I do not think that was him, y'all, because I felt some type of way against him. I said, well, why is he trying to come for me now too? So then after a hard meeting we had one day, I never forget, me and him ended up in my office area alone. And I said, can I ask you a question? Because I didn't want to involve him because I knew that he was the vice principal up under her and all of that. But I had to ask him this question. And I said, please let me know. Okay, because this has been bothering me. So I felt like I was going crazy, y'all. I'm going to be honest. I felt like I was overthinking stuff. I felt like what I was thinking, I was wrong. Like, why is this happening? I was frustrated. I was telling my husband about all of this stuff that was taking place. Humble Me said, in and out of the chat because we are streaming you in the office. Oh, Lord. Look, on a day like well, hello, hi everyone from Humble Me Heights office staff. Thank y'all so much for joining. This is funny because I thought this was very informative, but hey, y'all getting real talk. So I said, let me ask you a question. Remember a few weeks ago, the email that you sent me? Did you send that or did someone have you send that? And he paused. And I did ask him, particularly her. Y'all, he said, okay, now don't say anything because I'm trying to get out of here too. So I already knew where this was going. He said, yes, she did. And y'all, when I tell you I could have hugged and kissed that man, but he was married and I was too. But it gave me a sense of relief and peace. And I said, I am not crazy. Because see, narcissists will have you thinking that you are crazy. And I was so happy because I had figured out that she had been behind a lot of this stuff. A lot of the emails that were being sent, little things she would throw. If I would have a training together for the teachers, she nix it and tell me to fix it, or she would send me what you're gonna do, and then she'll send me all of this negative feedback. Like she was doing little tit for tat stuff like that, right? I had to go through that 5 months, okay? 5 months until one day, and I had already told her that that was my last year there. Thank you so much. I had already told her at the beginning of the year that was my final year. So I already knew that I was leaving. So I did not leave because of the warfare, because I looked at it really as a spiritual warfare. I was looking at this guy on Facebook. He has a little mini post about narcissists and how to handle them. And I forget his name, but he has dreadlocks. So I was watching his videos and so forth. So one day she called us into a meeting, me and this other lady. She had even put me back in the classroom, y'all, for a whole month. Good morning. Who is this? April. Welcome. Thank you for joining, April. She had even put me back into the classroom. Now, she didn't do that to my counterpart when they didn't have a teacher, but when the reading department didn't have a teacher, she was like, I need you to go back into the classroom for a month so that they could have some chance towards start. So I'm about the kids. Whatever I gotta do, hey, I'll do it. But she did it on purpose because we weren't supposed to go back into the classroom. She even went to her boss to get them to approve it so that I could go back into the classroom. She quit inviting me to the meetings, all of that. So one day, the girl that was in the classroom with me, she called us into her office after school. Now, I had already written up my letter of resignation, and I knew that that was the day that I was going to give her my resignation. So at the beginning of the meeting, y'all, she puts on this whole performance. She's standing up behind her chair, giving her speech of what she thought she was throwing shade at us or really at me. And I wanted to do the little slow clap, being trying to be funny when she sat down, because baby, I wasn't even looking at her. She was up there doing all that. I was looking out the window. I didn't even look her direction. Okay. So girl, you did all that for what? So at the end of the meeting, I said, oh, excuse me, I have a question. I have my letter of resignation. I was trying to figure out who do I need to give this to, or like how does this work? And she froze. She didn't know what to say. Okay. She was like, well, I mean, you need to sign it and give it to them. And I said, okay, thank you so much. Now, I had already told my assistant principal because I didn't want him to be caught off guard. I did let him know that I was going to do that day. And y'all, after that day, when she knew that I was leaving, that was it. Okay. She couldn't do anything else but just let me be there. Okay, I steered clear of that lady. I didn't want to see her in the hallway. I didn't want to walk by her. I was like, every time I go into the hallway, I was like, oh, I hope she's in her office or something, because it had gotten that bad. But it had brought a sense of throughout that whole time. And some people may have gone through this even at work, where you have someone that you feel is after you, that they have it out for you. Good morning, Simone. I got afraid every time I got an email from her. I didn't know what it was going to say. Okay. I felt afraid every time she called me into a meeting. I didn't know what was going to go down. I had to go to the length of recording while I was in meetings with her for the simple fact of how she ambushed me in that one meeting and then turned my words against me. It was not even what I said or meant, and she knew it, but I did not have a witness. Anytime we met, I needed another person there. She did not even want me to have someone that I chose to be there. She chose another assistant principal. Okay. And that's not fair to me. Why can't I bring who I want to bring in here? You know, um, let's see. I became a subscriber. Okay, good. Thank you so much, April, for doing that. And so, y'all, after that, I found out, she was going lying behind my back and things like that. Um, I said, when I leave this place, I'm going to shake the dust off my feet and never look back. And that's exactly what I did. The last day I got my stuff, I went out the side door and I shook the dust off my feet and never looked back. Now I said, God, unless you remove her from this place, I may come back to sub or do something here. But no, it's too much evil. The hallways felt different. It was like a whole different atmosphere at that place. Nobody was happy. She's come after so many people. She has had so many complaints. But because she has this mask on for her higher ups and they think she's this way or this way, the other people, they don't really pay attention to. Okay, it's going to take someone to really step in, or she's going to continue to have high turnover at that campus because of how she is. Hi, Letitia. Welcome. Thank you for joining. And so, with that, I've had to forgive. Now, when I say the fear part, I'm like, how like you see someone and it takes you back to a place. I don't know if that will happen. Because y'all, it was like, what is going to be next? Okay. Now, what I can say also is people with that are very predictable. Okay. I was able to predict her moves. I don't know if she knows, but I knew what she would do next. I could keep up. You handled your situation correctly. Thank you, Natasha. That's all I knew. But you know what? I have to give God the glory, and also the guy, that social media influencer, that he's an actual narcissist. But what he does is he does videos over how to navigate through different situations with narcissists. And so I watched him every day. I even read articles because I was trying to see how to handle this lady. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to know how to handle a narcissist. You can't just pop off and handle them and do different things, show them your hand and all of that, because they are going to twist things around. They're going to lie. They're going to try to make you look crazy. They're going to try to make you look a certain way to other people. All of that. That's their tactic and their strategies, but they're also predictable. Okay. So you just have to know how to navigate. You got to keep receipts. You got to keep proof. You got to show them facts. They don't like that. They don't want to see that. They just want people to believe them, their word. They don't want to see the facts because they know the truth, but they don't want to admit the truth. They know the truth, but they don't want to admit it. Good morning, Janelle. I hope I spoke to you. Welcome. And so, yeah, and so I've had to forgive, so if I see her, it'll be like Shelly said, if she speaks first, you know, hey, how you doing? Keep going. Okay. Thank you for doing that, Letitia. I'm just like, baby, okay. And so maybe, and y'all, we were talking about the incident with Sherri Shepherd. Those of you who were coming in, allegedly, we don't know for sure if it's Nia Long, but a lot of people have stated that they know someone that was there or something like that, that said that Nia Long came over to Sherri Shepherd while she was talking to Devale Ellis and his wife. What's his name, y'all, on Sisters? Zach. Okay, there it is. He plays Zach on Sisters and Zatima. And so that's when this unnamed, Sherri called it an unnamed celebrity, came up to her and said, you've been throwing shade at me. And she said, no, I haven't. She said, yes, you have, and walked away. And so now there's this little beef going on. And so Sherry said, well, you can come to my couch and we can talk about it. Um, so I don't know. So we're waiting, I guess, to first see if it's really Nia Long, okay? And also, how will these ladies handle this, okay? Um, because people are watching, who's going to be the bigger person? Are we going to be mature about it? Now there's been some rumors that Nia Long is like a difficult person to work with. I don't know how true that is, and say, she has had some little, I don't know, tussles or whatever you want to call it with people where they really say her attitude is a certain type of way. I don't know. Okay. But hopefully, they can work through that, and there can be some forgiveness. Okay. There can be some moving on. Because yeah, y'all, life is just too short. We just gotta be mindful of that. We get too grown, and we should be trying to get just things right and in order. Because we don't want to be walking around with that at the last minute. Like I said, Angie Stone, leaving her concert one moment, the next moment she's gone, in an instant. Like, people are passing away at a quick and fast rate. And that does not discount when you have valid reasons for being upset. That's not discounting that. Yes, if you have a valid reason for being upset with the person, and you talk to that person and y'all come to an understanding, then hey, forgive. Sometimes you're going to have to forgive without getting an apology. Okay? You Everyone is not going to apologize. Everyone is not going to admit that they were wrong. And you have to be okay with that. I know that that's like a harsh thing to think, but hey, that's where it comes down to sometimes, because there are a lot of people who wrong me and have never apologized, never admitted that they were wrong. But I don't have any hate in my heart for those people. And like I said, what makes it a little easier for me to forgive is because of God's grace towards me, because I have to go to him and ask for forgiveness on a daily. Okay. So if he can do it for me, well, then who am I that I can't do it for other people? See, some people want to walk around mad. They choose that. They want to walk around and feel like a victim. They want to feel like, no, they did me wrong, XYZ. They want that. But you should not want that. It takes too much of your energy. It can impact your health, your mental. We have to be careful with that. We really do. Natasha said you have to study a narcissist pattern. God will reveal the answers to you on how to handle them and still feel your peace. Yes, I agree with that, Natasha. Yes, totally. Exactly. It's hard, but it's right. Right. I agree. Forgiveness is for us. Yeah, it is. It is. And so, yeah, y'all, I was just talking about that this morning. I just was shaking my head because I'm like, Sherry and Nia Long, what is the connection? I would not have expected that. Oh my goodness, I would not have expected that. But hopefully, whoever it is, they come to a consensus, baby. But I know, shade can get misinterpreted, and sometimes it can be that you're wrong because maybe they're talking about someone else and you saw something in it that you felt applied to you. Well, that's a you situation. Okay. That's a you situation if you took it as that person talking about me, because they may not be talking about you. Look, at this point, I'm really not gonna care what people think, because I'm not gonna walk on eggshells on my posts and things like that, making people think that, oh, it's about them. No, look, it's a totally different situation. Now, if you felt like something that applied to you, then hey, just take it on. I mean, it is what it is. People shouldn't have to, oh my gosh, if I say this, they're gonna think it's about them. Who about to do that? Okay. Nobody's about to do that. Okay, because it could be about a totally different situation. One thing that is stated can be about 20 people. So look, okay, if you one of those 20, take it, chew it, spit it out, or digest it, whatever you want to do. Draw the boundaries to keep your peace safe. Yes, exactly. I do agree with that. I do agree with that. But y'all, that was all that I had. Hi, Laura. Good morning. Thank you so much. I appreciate that, Laura. Thank you for your support. Okay, like if the shoe fit, wear it. Okay, we're not about to start. Oh my goodness, I can't post this quote. They gonna think it's about them. Cause y'all, I actually had someone stalking my page doing that. Okay, I actually and Shelly can okay, because me and Shelly, we were talking about that one day. And she said, I wish I would tiptoe around anything I want to do. Okay, because I was posting different things, and the person was following my page so hard until they thought some of the things I posted was about them, and it wasn't. And I could see the shade thrown back at me, like I was talking to them. That wasn't even for you. So I had to even at one point watch what I put, because I said, I hope they don't. I'm not doing that. That's crazy. Some people have too much time. Yes. Open book, your time there was only for the time God wanted you to be there. Yes, Kathleen, I do agree. Hi, Southern Belle, welcome. Laura said, anyway, have everyone have a super day. Hugs and love. Thanks. Same to you, Laura. Thank you, Humble Me. I appreciate that. And thank you to your coworkers as well for tapping in and listening. I really appreciate it. Y'all, before we go, I wanted to go to a short commercial. Thank you, Laura. I appreciate the super sticker and for being a sponsor for today's show. Thank you so much. Okay, let's go to a brief commercial and I will be right back.
In the midst of going through various trials and tribulations, I sometimes wondered, was God really there? He was not only there, but He was weaving together my life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, and making it work for my good. He is the common thread. My book, The Common Thread, Testimonies to Increase Your Faith and Bring Encouragement, is now available on Amazon.com, the ebook and the paperback version. The link to quickly get to Amazon is posted in the chat. I hope that you will be encouraged by my book and that you too will receive encouragement, inspiration, and most of all, know that God is the common thread in your life. Be blessed.
And I would like to thank those of you who have already purchased my book and that have put reviews on Amazon. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. And if you would like to purchase my book, the link is in the description field of this video that I'll add, and because I'm on my phone, and also in the QR code on the screen. Hi, Cherry. Welcome. Thank you, Laura. Let's see. Making sure I didn't miss anyone. Thank you, Shelly Shells. Yes, y'all. So yeah, the word for today is just forgive. Um, Forgive. I mean, be at peace. That's with whether it's family, friends, whoever. Just be at peace, and that will restore your peace when you forgiven. Walking around being angry all day is not going to help you. You want to feel lighter. You too, Kathleen. Thank you so much. But I love you all. Thank y'all so much for joining. Make sure you hit the like button if you have not hit it coming in. Also, if you have not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the bell because you never know when I'm going to go live. Humble Me said, my boss said, you're very welcome. The clients enjoy the engagement and seeing something different on the big screens. Oh, thank you. Y'all make my whole day. Okay. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Look, hey, y'all are giving me that extra encouragement, to get my own morning show going. Okay. This is a start. Okay. No, thank y'all so much. Right, Kathleen, I done made the big screen. Okay, shout out. Thank you, Brett baby. I appreciate it. You too, Rebecca. I hope you have a great day today. Y'all make sure at work, be on your best behavior. Come back from those breaks on time. Okay. And I will see y'all in these YouTube streets. Y'all have a blessed day. Bye-bye.